Okay, well, it wouldn't be a season commencement unless we were speaking with this man. I don't even know what number appearance this is for him as I look down the barrel. It could be up to double figures.
Could be.
We could be up to 10. And that's because he's the best friend of the show. Well, at least we'll advance that, I guess, label to him. I don't know if he'll throw it back because he's a man of many hats. You know, who knows if we're in his network anymore. I don't know if he joins us today as a board member, as a philanthropist, as a media star, as an investor, because, well, you know, he plays shots all around the park.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, cricket.
Cricket, right? Unless you put it in a cricket analogy, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm of course talking about Ed Cowan, who joins us for our season launch. Ed, welcome back to The Great Cricketer.
Gents, what an absolute treat it is. And above all else, you're right, friend of the show. I mean, I know you have a lot of best friends because you use that, you throw it out like chocolate bars in a candy store, and I can only assume that the Wi-Fi in the Maldives is down at the moment, and so you've just hustled a little invite because you went for one of the big, hey, punter, I want to be on the show, mate. Watto and Davey the Bull, now that we're big time in India, how about some YouTube action? And no Wi-Fi in the Maldives, and so you're stuck with Teddy.
Do you think you're sort of 6 or 7 on the list?
I think I'm not even in the starting level. I'm in the 3s with you, Sambo. That's right.
3s with myself. Who's on the show?
Slats didn't pick up his phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Ed, given the Australian men's team isn't really playing until October,
Yeah.
you know, what is success for Cricket Australia this year? Is it getting the house in order, appointing a CEO, or sorting the chair that your own board doesn't want to be there anymore?
What does success look like, Sam? I don't really know the answer to that. You've thrown a little curveball up front.
What would it look like to you? What does Cricket Australia need to do?
5-0 Ashes.
5-0 Ashes, nothing else matters?
Oh, yeah, 5-0. No. So I actually think, and you'd appreciate this, Pez, from your corporate days, pre-comedy routine, that the best laid strategies are put in place in the off season. And so for Cricket Australia to succeed for the coming season and the seasons after that, they need to start really identifying what the strategy going forward is. Because unfortunately, you know, the big 2 drivers of revenue, one being international broadcasting rights, are decreasing, and the Big Bash has kind of plateaued. So how are we reinvigorating the game in Australia? I don't know. It's up to the board and the senior leadership to take the direction.
You would have had a bit to do with Michael Slater, and Dave Warner was your opening partner. So given that there was some exchange between them, or maybe there wasn't.
Well, you can't prove it.
Should we
can't
put
prove
it?
anything, mate. Don't prove it. You can't prove anything.
You can't. If you can't prove it, you can't write it.
Can't write it.
Yeah.
Can't write it.
Yeah.
Can't write it. What can you write? Nothing happened.
I mean,
Someone just made up that we had a barroom brawl because they were
Well, it was Phil Rothfield.
between the martinis and the swimming with the dolphins and surfing.
they're mates.
Point break.
They're mates.
There was a brawl.
Yeah.
Should we put it down to like?
But we're best mates. We're best mates. I'm sure. Barbecue. We played for years. We used to play together, and the families are mates. We're best mates.
Yeah.
Best mates.
Is that just like, does that happen between opening bats at the top? You know, like a robust discussion between opening bats, maybe about some political issues as well. And have you ever been nailed by Buzz Rothfield in the Telegraph?
Oh, okay. I mean, that Buzz, I've been under the radar, which is amazing. But you know, I don't know if you can remember, Pez, but when the ACA were having a little moment with Cricket Australia during the MOU discussions, Slat showed me the full force of his power spot on the radio. Worth digging up on the old Google. He went to town on you, mate, little Ted, unfairly. And all I could think about was him and his Ferrari with his speed dealers on back in the day. Back in the day when life was going off the rails, thinking the temerity of the man. So I can only imagine the level of conversation that the Bull and Slats were having.
Hell of a
sounds like it was just
while sipping their Mai Tais.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was
In
just
the
a normal
Maldives.
chat.
Yeah, they were just singing underneath the Southern Cross I Stand.
That's right.
In the Maldives. Yeah. Hey, Ted, you were saying before at the top of this that, Australia don't tour anymore, so all of our players who have test hopes, they want to go and now play county cricket. Even Pete Hansom's our captain of Middlesex, which is the thing that I learnt today, which says more about him than me. But you played a bit of county cricket over there. Like, what were your experiences playing county cricket? Were you looked after well over there? People were very kind to you. Were you the big alpha dog? What was it like when Ted was going over to play county championship stuff?
Honestly, some of my best memories of playing county cricket, and they're somewhat competing memories because I had two very vastly different experiences. I had the joys of the big test venue, Trent Bridge, playing for Nottingham. They give you the fast BMW and the nice car, and the breakfast is served every morning. And the year before, I'd played at Gloucester, where if you wanted anything but a cup of warm water during the drinks break, you had to leave £2 on your change room seat so they could buy you a Powerade from the vending machine. So I'd say
You've seen it all.
True story. I have seen the full spectrum of county cricket and loved it all because it really is. It's a wonderful game it's a wonderful place to hone your skills, but the people involved in the county game, the volume of cricket you play at some great venues. I absolutely loved it and still have some great friends that were born out of it. So wonderful experience in the little Alfa Romeo going down the highway, from Costa to Costa in the car that Gloucester couldn't afford to pay for, so they'd hired it from some bloke in the twos who was a mechanic. Getting my crappy coffee along the highway. Compare that with the next year on the BMW. Ted, top down, hair out.
Drive with a baggy green on.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. That's why I got so faded. I only played 18 tests, but got so faded is because I did wear it down the hill.
That's right. Bit of coastal erosion. So Ed, could you compare and contrast the social experience of county cricket versus first class cricket, grade cricket? What are I know that's a really big question, but like, if you can carry yourself in a Sydney University grade cricket training dressing sheds, like, could you make it in county cricket? Could you manage yourself?
Socially, very much so. I think they actually. The joy of county cricket is they don't take themselves too seriously. I think from a cricket point of view, depending on what division you're playing and what club you play at, it varies between the very best first-class cricket in the world. If Yorks are playing Nottingham at Trent Bridge and the Test players are playing, it's a wonderful standard of cricket, right down to Derby playing Gloucester, and it's at best probably second grade. As you could even maybe turn out for the Gloucester Gladiators at some point. Little nuggety bloke behind the stumps. So from a cricket point of view, you get the full spectrum. Socially, wonderful place to play cricket. And an example, Trent Bridge, there's a wonderful pub inside the ground, the Larwood and Vosk, one of those beautiful English gastro pubs where you get your Guinness pie, it's packed out every night. But after a day's play, the team, rather than, going back to their room and getting Uber Eats, you'd go to the pub and have a pint with the opposition and actually socialise. There's so much cricket that the only outlet to socialise is usually during a game. So people, I think there's a bit more camaraderie at times between teams. Not camaraderie, but jovial relationships that are built. So it was wonderful.
We saw a great conversation, one of the great conversations on Twitter, during the England-India Test Series, Ted, about, what is proper cricket, wickets turning too much versus swing. And you sort of see this a bit in county championship where, a 45-year-old bloke can just bowl stump to stump and get out Marnus. So, what is
Exactly.
real cricket? What's real cricket?
It's a very metaphysical question that I don't even know I have the answers to. But Darren Stevens, on his 45th birthday. I mean, that gives me hope, doesn't it? A little big bash comeback, some flat leggies for maybe the Thunder. I've seen John O'Cook bowl for the Thunder. I can bowl some of those. I'm only 38. I'm still in the absolute physical prime of my life. Play a couple of shots in the middle order, straight to the bank manager, new house. Thanks for coming.
Could sort of clip that up. That's basically the attitude of pro cricketers playing T20 cricket. Hey, straight to the bank manager, new house. Thanks for coming. Ed, last time we spoke, I think it was the season opener again. We set the scene for the summer with
What season are we opening here?
I don't know.
I'm so confused. Like for me, last time I checked, it's the 12th of May. I'm thinking it's footy, say footy, and you're talking season openers. So what are you working? I know you're big in India. Are you now trying to be big in the UK? Are you going the global game next?
No, it's
season opener in Holland, maybe next week. No.
It's a Canada T10 league we're trying to get into. So,
great.
Some good
big
teams.
market.
Big market.
And so anyway, just back to the question. When we started last season, we talked about the Australian captaincy debate, Cummins v Smith. You sort of came out fairly strongly, said Cummins, culture carrier. I think it should be Cummins. You're on the New South Wales board. Cummins was captain, put 2 and 2 together. Since then, Smith's confirmed that he wants it if it's available. And Langer then said a couple of weeks ago he was just going to nail this on the head when he said Tim Payne will not be captain. So that's clear.
The old double negative.
Yeah, but
and Imran Khan's the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
And so anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
So what did you make?
Sky's the limit. Dream big. Here goes.
What did you make of well, Scott? Yeah, I would like to dream big like Imran Khan when he was out playing grade cricket. But what did you make of Smith?
Dream big times 2 most nights.
Wouldn't go home unless there's 2.
Allegedly.
What did you make of Steve Smith's deliberate sit-down interview to make his intentions clear while also launching his YouTube channel?
Sounds like his manager's been busy.
Yeah.
My read on that. And you might have heard this take on the ABC podcast that I co-host with Corby, Sam, that I know
it's a great
podcast. It was that. Look, it felt almost somewhat contrived by the people around Steve to make sure that he was front and center. He hadn't been in the news for a while. It didn't feel authentic in any shape, way, or form. That's my view. He may well want it, but it didn't really feel as though it was coming from a place of authenticity. It was just odd. It came from nowhere. It wasn't even in the public discourse. Well, people weren't talking about it at the pub. They weren't sitting down going, I wonder if Steve Smith's wondering if he's going to be wanting to captain when Tim Payne retires after the Ashes. No one was talking about it. But yeah, bang, front page, Sunday Telegraph. I want to be the captain again.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Do you think?
Exactly. I mean, look, he is the greatest modern batsman, after Ponting. Well, he could well end up as the greatest modern batsman Australia's ever seen. This guy is a genius. But the skill of captaincy and the skill of batting are 2 very, very different things. And we love blurring the 2. Oh, because he can bat, he must be a great captain. That's not the case. Leadership and batting are completely different things. And we saw what happened, unfortunately, the last time. And people can grow and change to a degree. But when you have someone like Pat Cummins, who is such a wonderful captain in the waiting, why we would have this conversation is it's lost on me a little bit.
Because he bowls.
He's bowler.
So.
Hey,
bowlers can't be captain. Well, they're stupid, those bowlers.
I'm not sure about bowls being captain. It's
bloody
Hey, last one from me, Ted. I know you got to get back to, you're at a BMW dealership at the moment. Just got to close that deal. But just last one from me. Like, we obviously saw the Australian central contracts announced 2 weeks ago or something. No Pekovsky, thoughts?
You've been reading my text messages to George Bailey.
No, I've not been reading your
you
text
can read them
messages
if you
to
want
George
that.
Bailey,
What's that? Yeah, wait.
Send them through, yeah.
I thought he was unlucky. Look, if you're opening the batting in Test cricket, if you're the standout player in domestic cricket, and you're 22 years old, you deserve a central contract in my mind. I'm all for keeping people hungry, but it feels as though he earned that, regardless of whether he comes back from injury or not. He's someone who's shown that he can play at Test match level, and he's a class above domestic cricket. So my mind is that's what national contracts are for. If I was Will, I would have been disappointed, but my gut feel is that he'll end up back on that list one day, you know.
Was there, do you think?
What was your view? I feel like I'd love to hear your take on it. I mean, That's my take, particularly when there were people on the list who are white ball specialists, but they're not even in the best one-day or T20 team.
Yeah. I had the same thought, Ted. For me, like it was he's the outstanding player in domestic cricket. He opened exceptionally well against India. And he's 22. But the only reason I could think was that it's a white ball year with the T20 World Cup, and they hardly play Test cricket anymore. But I don't know, it was a bit of a stitch up. There's heaps of contracts going around, and he didn't get one of them. Bit harsh.
Yeah.
Sambo?
I think that it's easy to say, look, he's only played one Test, so he's got to do more to prove himself. But my gut is that there's a message in it around some further conformity needed.
Got to stay hungry. Got to keep these young blokes hungry.
That could mean anything.
You're also talking about a guy who's given up playing Big Bash cricket. Like he wants to be a Test cricketer. We should be rewarding people and incentivizing them to want to play Test cricket. He's turned down Big Bash contracts to play red ball cricket. He's killed it in Shield cricket. There are some injury question marks, but if it was Pat Cummins and he was a fast bowler, wouldn't matter. Yeah. So why is this any different?
I thought it was strange. I thought that if you saw his name there, no one would have asked the question. Everyone said, yeah, okay, that's fine. We don't really know what a central contract means these days with T20 cricket, but it sounded like it felt off to me. Anyway.
Love to be back in the echo chamber of the great cricketer where we all just agree with each other.
Furiously agree.
Lads.
There's more questions. Why don't we save it for another week? You know, I feel like there's more we can mine here. So why don't we leave it there? I'll let you get back to your dealership and the dealership.
The next season launch in 2 weeks. Exactly.
Exactly.
T20 League, Caribbean League, you name it. We're huge everywhere. Look at me.
I don't know what sincere means anymore, but thank you for coming on.
I love you guys, honestly. It's such a treat. I'm so grateful that you give me any kind of airtime as an irrelevant former cricketer. It's just a joy.